LRN.FM.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm. The latest edition of the Jason Stapleton program is next on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.fm. Get more at jasonstapleton.com.
Well. We talked, last week about Medicare for All and what it would cost. Bernie Sanders out with a brand new proposal, updated, improved, I guess, only costing around $32.6 trillion over 10 years. That's actually on the high side of what we projected yesterday. I think I came in at somewhere around at $3 trillion on the high side, around 2.8, between 2.4 and 2.8 trillion a year. This new proposal, $3.2 trillion a year. In order to do that, you take the 32.6 and you move the decimal place over 1. That's a little grade school math for you, not the Common Core stuff, the good stuff we used to have. And you move the decimal point over there, $3.2 trillion. That's every single year for 10 years, $32 trillion. I'll tell you what he had to say in just a minute, but before that, welcome back, everybody.
The Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, July 31st, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.49 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,220 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $27, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,877. Antiwar.com reports addressing media questions on Monday. President Donald Trump announced that he is willing to meet with Iranian President Hassan Rouhani if the Iranians are willing to do so. He said they could meet anytime with no preconditions. The comments come after a week of conflicting statements on Iran, many from Trump himself. This time last week, Trump was threatening Iran with consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered, but then said he was willing to make a deal just days later. This was followed by reports as recently as Sunday that the U.S. is preparing to attack Iran. Trump said he views this meeting as generally positive, saying one with Rouhani would be good for the country, good for them, good for us, and good for the world. Iran has not, as of Monday evening, responded to Trump's comments. Iranian state media, however, had reported earlier in the month that Rouhani's chief of staff told them that Trump had asked for meetings with Rouhani 8 times in the past month and was rebuffed. Iranian officials had said they were not interested in one-sided talks under the shadow of a threat, which isn't to say Iran would not accept talks under any circumstances, but that Iran is clearly not interested in following the North Korea model of protracted U.S. threats and ever-increasing sanctions, even when the negotiations are ongoing. Iran expert Trita Parsi expressed doubts that Trump would be able to get a better deal out of Iran, calling many of Trump's demands non-starters. He added that the better deal would need more American concessions to be reached. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 13,000 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed secure node systems of any cryptocurrency, and Zencash now has supernodes. Supernodes will bring network, economic, and technical improvements across the network. And the official Zencash wallet is available on Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com, zencash.com. UPI reports the next time you walk through an airport to catch a flight, the Transportation Security Administration might have an extra eye on you, even if you don't have a criminal record or aren't on any watch list. The agency has acknowledged the existence of its Quiet Skies surveillance program, an added airport security measure designed to watch for potential signs of danger, first reported by the Boston Globe. Michael Bolello, Assistant Administrator for TSA Public Affairs, told UPI the program uses an algorithm to observe travelers, including U.S. citizens, to identify a pattern of travel and passengers whose destinations and activities match intelligence on terrorist threats. This data is collected, reviewed by TSA personnel, and combined with state, local, federal law enforcement information to determine whether the traveler may be a threat to flight crew or passengers. TSA personnel then refer any potential threatening information to federal air marshals. Under the program, the marshals observe passenger activity in airport terminals, including who they talk to and their visits to airport restrooms. They also watch for signs of potential trouble, excessive fidgeting, sweating, use of computers, and whether a passenger waits to board the plane last. Bolello noted TSA agents are trained to look for passengers who may be acting erratically at TSA checkpoints, but that observation ends upon exiting the checkpoint. He said if the person were in the program, the air marshal would then begin observing them on the sterile side of the airport because they are trying to anticipate their next move. They're trying to determine if the person is a threat to aviation security. Bolello said only a very small population of travelers are placed in the program, and it's not intended to watch ordinary Americans. He added the program does not select passengers for observation based on race or religion. Although they are targets of extra scrutiny, the tracked passengers are not suspected of any crimes. Passengers who continue to fly without any adverse incidents for a period of time can be removed from the Quiet Skies program. Quiet Skies has been in use since 2010, and both Congress and the airlines have been aware of the program. Officials said the surveillance program is in use at most of the busiest airports in the United States, including Seattle, Minneapolis, Detroit, Boston, New York City, Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Las Vegas, Charlotte, Phoenix, Myrtle Beach, Atlanta, Houston, Miami, Philadelphia, and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and Numery supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com.
This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
According to locals waiting for a 66 bus in downtown Chicago last night, a young couple was making out in the passenger shelter like they were in Paris or something. Onlookers spoke to reporters about the pair, who carried on their passionate embrace for over 20 minutes, as if they were in some sort of goddamn candlelit bistro tucked away in Montmartre.
It's been almost a half an hour and they're still going at it. It's like they think they're sitting on a sun-dappled picnic blanket in the Tuileries Gardens. I mean, where the hell are we? The Champs-Élysées?
The pair's marathon makeout session, which took place in downtown Chicago and not, as frustrated onlookers emphasized, on a cobblestone street in the city of lights, featured intense gazing, deep tongue kissing, and other gestures of affection typically reserved for a couple strolling down the banks of the Seine River.
You know, for a second there, I honestly thought we had all been transported to Parc Monceau, drinking flutes of champagne on a wonderful summer afternoon while being serenaded by a Parisian accordion player. But no, we're at a bus stop in Chicago.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Birdcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say.
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our BitPlus Network satellite.
This is
the Call to Freedom.
right, let's boot it up.
That's right. Welcome to the Call to Freedom here on. That's right. Welcome to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from the Zencast studio. And Will Coley is with us, of course. He's tied up at the moment. But joining us also is Chris Wade of Think Penguin. How are things going?
I'm going well. It's a beautiful day out.
It is. It's so hot, though.
Really?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem too terrible to me. Wait, you from the South? You should not think this is hot.
It's about on par with what I expect of early August in Mississippi, really.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
because
I think it's
humidity
beautiful
here
out.
is pretty close to what it is in Mississippi. It's not quite as high, but the way it feels between 40% humidity and 70% humidity, it's not that big of a difference. It's just hot as hell either way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why they invented air conditioning, right?
It is. But, it's still hot when you have to walk outside.
Yeah. Yeah, it is pretty hot when you have to walk outside.
But we have a video that we would like to play, but I'm going to wait on Will to get back. In the meantime, man, I guess we really need to play that video.
Do you want to give us a little hint as to what's coming? Do you know what's coming?
Discussions about identity.
Identity.
Yeah, and Will's video is actually about Islamic identity and British Muslim identity, but it's more general than that. I mean, really, everyone is experiencing some sort of identity crisis in the Western world. And I think a large part of that is because of the collectivism that has taken over and everybody being lumped into one group or another to draw their identity solely from whatever characteristic defines that group, rather than being individuals. So they lose a part of themselves and they end up just searching for somewhere to fit in. Instead of going, I don't really care if I fit in or not. I'm going to do what I do and I'm going to be happy doing it.
Yeah, but isn't that like kind of human nature? I mean, to socialize and pick our groups and our friends and things like that.
It is.
Haven't we been doing that
everyone.
for like thousands of years though? I mean, is this really so different?
I would say that it is because of the takeover of identity politics in our lives. It goes far beyond, just being friends with someone. Like when I'm friends with someone, it doesn't come into play that I'm white or they're white or I'm trans and they're straight or whatever. None of that really enters the dynamic of the relationship. But then you have these...
And you're saying it does now?
No. I'm saying outside of friends and family, it does now. I mean, like the way people identify politically is based on those characteristics. If they're trans, they're Democrats.
Well, isn't that basically stereotyping?
Yeah.
And isn't that something we've been doing for thousands of years?
Oh, yeah. And we have to,
Right. I mean, that's just seems like human nature to me.
Yeah. If you don't stereotype the bear, you don't survive. You see a bear, well, maybe that's a good bear and it won't slap my head off. The ones who didn't stereotype didn't do that, so they died and they didn't go on.
I mean, some of this seems like it's just, it's caution, right? I mean, you may be less caution around people you're more familiar with, which probably makes sense, and less or more cautious around people you're not familiar with.
Yeah. But, it does come back to that tribal mentality, which, as you pointed out, we all have, which is that we're more comfortable around people that we're more similar to.
Sure.
And like, if you put me in a room with a bunch of black dudes or a bunch of Democrats.
Oh, boy.
Or a bunch of people who listen to country, white rednecks, I'm going to be awkward and uncomfortable in any of those environments because it's just not my crowd, I guess. I mean, you put me in a room with a bunch of skateboarders listening to Disturbed and Tool, hey, I'm right at home.
You remind me of somebody who you put them in the room full of people and or even just a few people.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you put me in a room full of any people, I'm going to sit in a corner being quiet, just watching everything. So there is that.
Yeah. It's anxiety is amongst all of us, and the question is where we have it, where we don't, and the level of thereof.
Right.
What's up, guys? How we doing today?
Doing good.
And Will's back.
I am. I was on the phone with my doctor's office, the urologist that I'm supposed to go see. They've got this brilliant idea.
Awesome.
I might have a problem that requires a 6-week regimen of antibiotics to take care of. They gave me 2 weeks worth and they'll see me in mid-September.
That's not a very good idea.
Wait, yeah, isn't that don't they usually want you to fulfill the antibiotic? Like you can't stop until it's gone.
And especially not stop and wait 6 weeks before we give you some more, because that's how you end up with super viruses and super bacteria. And I was on, she was like, yeah, I know that's how that kind of stuff happens. And I'm like, so why did you think it was a good idea to say, hey, so the first appointment we can get you in for is the middle of September. Okay, I need A, we need to know if it's this. B, if it is, I need 4 more weeks of medicine. Well, the doctor's not going to want to give you that until he sees you.
Do they not do arithmetic in med school any longer?
Then maybe you should figure. We'll have to double book him. We have to ask him, and he's not here. Then why are you calling me? Because I told you my issue, and they're like, well, we're just calling to tell you that we can't do anything for you.
But
awesome.
This is the U.S.
Wow.
If you have the money, you're supposed to be able to get medical care.
For real, yo. This is America. If you've got the ability to pay the bill, I shouldn't have to be like, we're going to wait until you have a super bacteria that will eat your prostate from the inside out. And then we'll finally get you in for a doctor, but don't sue.
It sounds like it's time to switch doctors if
they're the only urologist in the area.
Oh, yikes. Might have to travel.
Yeah. That's basically.
Does the specialist require a referral? Oh, that's what it is.
That's the problem.
Insurance companies have gotten involved.
Yeah. Well, even without the insurance, it requires a referral. I don't have insurance. I don't have insurance.
Oh, the urologist won't see you if you don't have a referral.
I have to have a referral.
Okay, I understand.
And the referral. I mean,
it's because of insurance that's the case, though.
The Monadnock Medical Center refers people to this urologist.
Well, so it's interesting because not all insurances require referrals.
No, but a lot of insurance companies do put pressure on the specialist to be like, hey, if you want us to, participate in the paying of the bill, if you want to be included in our network, you can only accept people on referral.
Right.
Like
right.
Cigna.
But then you would be told that you have to have a referral from your insurance provider.
Well, no, because it becomes the specialist who requires the referral.
A lot of times these days, specialists require a referral. You have to go see your doctor, and then your doctor tells you that you should go see this
Interesting, because
guy.
I've had insurance companies tell me we don't require a referral.
Again, it doesn't have to be the insurance company. It can be the.
You would still have to find a specialist that didn't require one.
Yeah,
when told that by the insurance company.
Oncology is one that is really bad about that. Cancer doctors are, no, I don't want to see you unless you get your. You go see your doctor, and your doctor tells you you should see me. Well, what if I'm looking at the fact that I have a lump the size of a golf ball growing out of my throat? Can I just assume that you're the person I need since I have a giant tumor? No. Go see the other doctor first.
Oh, they'll probably do tests to find out if it's cancer and then go from there.
It's a racket to me. That's what I think. It's why do I need to pay 2 doctor bills if I know my problem is my prostate? If I know it and I know where my prostate is, I know what
yeah, in certain circumstances, yeah, it makes sense.
You're the kind of doctor that fixes this problem. Can I just come to you straight? Why I got to spend the $160 before I ever get to your office? To me, that makes it a racket.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
The easiest thing in the world for a reader to do is to stop reading, according to the late, great Barney Kilgore, who became managing editor of the Wall Street Journal in 1941 and grew the paper's circulation from 33,000 to 1 million by the 60s. And he'd be pleased to know that his paper is one of the few that people now pay to read online. Someone else pre-internet who realized that attention is fragile? Motown Records founder Berry Gordy. In the early 60s, when his label dominated the charts, he'd bring a dozen real people into the Hitsville, USA studios and audition songs. And he'd ask, if you were down to your last dollar, would you spend it on this record or would you buy a sandwich? Today, attention span seems like an oxymoron. For tips on cutting through the clutter, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from the Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. Those of you guys watching on the Twitch feed right now, you see what my kids call my Super Pickle t-shirt. It's my Mr. Bean Cash t-shirt with my Super Bean right here on the thing, wearing that in celebration of our newest member of our advertising family, Bean Cash. Bean Digital Cash is joining the Call to Freedom advertising community.
And
our family.
You know, what's really awesome about Bean Cash is that when we had them on at PorcFest, what they said just really made us, or at least made me, because I follow Proof of Stake, made me realize how inadequate other Proof of Stake coins like Blackcoin really were.
Yeah. It's the easiest to stake coin on earth.
Yeah. And I mean, they had a dude wearing a bean suit.
It was awesome.
It was hilarious.
It was great. My kids loved them. They're going to be so much fun to advertise for. I've already got cartoonists working on putting voices together. We're going to do a 60-second show promo It's going to be narrated by Mr. Bean, the Super Bean from Bean Cash, and they're going to be announcing they're joining the Cult of Freedom's advertising family, and they're going to be talking about our new format and our new sponsors, and woohoo! And it's just going to be like the little bouncing sound. I think he should have a Spanish accent because, Mexican jumping beans, but that might be racist. I
think that's definitely constitutes the. Yeah, have you guys seen the videos on like YouTube? They're like all the old commercials that are like racist and whatever else and stuff.
Yay!
I'm pretty sure that would constitute
on that list.
Yay! I actually saw one of the commercials was exactly like you're describing. I was like, oh, yep, that's politically incorrect today.
Well, it can't be worse than what Aqua Teen Hunger Force did with beans. You ever seen that?
No, I mean I've seen
with the.
No, I mean I don't know what you're talking about.
There was some play in Master Shake's head, and the beans were full on Mexican.
Yeah,
wow.
The beans are Mexican.
Yeah, that's definitely politically incorrect.
Well,
that's Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Mexican jumping beans, yo, and he's like a bean with a cape, but he flies. So I mean, of course he's Mexican. Eh, senor.
Oh my God.
They're gonna have to give him a sombrero.
Oh yes, and a little mustache. Maybe a gun belt and a big guitar.
Have they signed the contract and handed over the cash? Because otherwise,
they've already handed over quite a bit of cash.
Good.
I think
they may be regretting it here shortly.
Yeah, right. They sent us a few 100,000 beans this morning to cover the upfront costs of getting the commercial and stuff put together, and then I think it's 4 million beans they're going to be giving us all together. But we don't get to dole that out. We have to hold that because that's what pays for the advertising. Is the payouts pay for their advertising? See, I'll explain it to you later.
Okay.
Anyway, so we wanted to have a discussion of identity politics today, and we're going to be pushing right through the beginning of the Crypto Hour, probably halfway, because we've got a pretty big story for Crypto Hour. Then we'll move on in the last half. Unfortunately, I wasn't here. I had to talk to my doctor the first segment, and we've chewed the fat, at least half of this one. So I'm just going to shut my mouth. This is, again, from Cambridge University. Timothy Winter, also known as Abdul Hakim Murad, with a discussion of modern identity politics.
One of the things I've been ruminating on recently is this word that we are always using as a Muslim community, the word identity. And we think we know what it means, but in fact I'm not sure that I know what it means. And certainly if we look at the world of Sharia discourse, traditional indigenous Islamic understandings of how society is and what it should be, we don't really find an equivalent to the idea of identity. Perhaps it's just a modern insecurity. We're also atomized by modern consumerism and individualism and a menu of endless choices. We become insecure, rootless. We're no longer confident about who we are, where we are, who our neighbours might be, what we believe. Everything nowadays is a matter of choice, or as we sometimes say, lifestyle options. Perhaps that's why we hyperventilate when people are challenging our identities. But in any case, it seems to me that one of the things we need to do as Muslims, if we consider our place amongst others in the contemporary world, is to examine the kind of language that we use when speaking to others. And of course, ours is a religion of communication and a religion of proclamation. We are not to be ostriches with our heads in the sand, and the time for seeking the caves in the mountains with our flock of sheep is, I think, not yet upon us. We are a social community. Ad-Din mu'amala, religion is engagement with others. It is through experiencing others, knowing others, that we most understand ourselves. But how are we to understand others if the modern language, the buzzwords, are words that are not indigenous to our own community? If we are told, you have an identity, your identity is British Muslim, and we happily parrot that, not being quite sure what exactly one has to be or do to be British, and actually nobody seems very clear what one has to be or do to be British, but still we're told we have to be British Muslims. And then Muslim itself is such a grab bag for different ways of being that one isn't quite sure what that means either. particularly nowadays. But still, this is the term that we are having imposed upon ourselves, and I accept it myself with these misgivings. But if we look at this world of competing, occasionally cooperating collectivities, ours is not just a world of greedy individuals, but a world of individuals who like to organize themselves in groups, some of which think they have very strong and clear identities. We need to consider how it is that we present ourselves. The danger, it seems to me, which many of us, myself included, have often fallen into, is that we accept the conventional language of citizenship with its secular presuppositions. That is to say, that the way in which this country has historically dealt with diversity, if you exclude early 19th century ideas when, indeed, religious identity was hugely important, things like Catholic emancipation and the increasing toleration of free churches, but in living memory, basically communities' identities has been defined by the race relations industry, and in recent years also by forms of identity rooted in people's sense of their own sexuality.
All right, when we get back here, we're going to continue on with the discussion of identity politics in the modern day. And well, what does it mean to be American? What does it mean to be Muslim? What does it mean to be white? What does it mean to be brown? All these labels and things that are thrown around in the modern day, do they really have any meaning at all? When we get back.
Free Talk Live.
When there are cameras around, it doesn't make a difference. There were people with video cameras all over this event yesterday.
And it looked like these people were trying to get away,
Yes,
honestly.
they were. Yes, they were. They were being shot.
People rushing towards the cop phalanx.
Nope.
That's right.
They were trying to get away.
And those batons weren't rubber like the bullets were.
They were either trying to get away or they were members of the news media trying to cover the event.
Right.
Police are supposed to be there to protect and serve.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, to be peace officers. And instead, they're creating war.
And, of course, the chief of police is claiming he'll investigate. What they're going to investigate, I don't know. It's going to be very difficult to identify the officers in this video footage because there were so many of them. Mm-hmm. There was an army of police officers out there, and every single one of them was participating in the attack on unarmed, innocent people.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
Who told you can go this way?
You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't gonna make
Wait, now. Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it's another beautiful day here in the Shire. We've been talking about identity politics. I mean, you know, young, dumb, broke high school kids. We were listening to Timothy Winter, also known as Abdul Hakim Murad, the head of the Islamic Studies Department at Cambridge or Oxford. I'm going to have to look that up so that I can get it right. I believe it's Oxford, but it might be Cambridge. Actually, no, it is. It's Cambridge. That's right. It's called the Mosque at Cambridge. So yeah, the head of the Islamic Studies Department at Cambridge University in the United Kingdom. And he starts out with something that I kind of, Chris, Ari, I'm sure the two of you agree with me. Identity politics requires us to have definitions for words that we don't even have the ability to divine. You know, you're an American Muslim. Well, what the hell is American to begin with?
I don't even know what it means, to be quite frank. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I do. It means I was born here, and because of that, I get to feel like I'm better than everyone who was not.
Well, not only that, but there's like a certain dichotomy that's there's a certain behavior that's expected. You're an American black. Okay, that has
Does that make you superior?
No, it has certain social connotations. It has certain cultural implications. But the problem is Obama is not Jay-Z, is not, the guy that made my coffee today at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah. Way different.
They're not the same person, but they're all American blacks.
Yeah, well, that's actually what I was just thinking about. It seems that political identities have totally subsumed personal identities. Like here on the show, if I was going to describe myself, the first words out of my mouth would be trans-atheist. But if you put me in a room full of trans people, it would never occur to me to point out that I'm trans.
That's interesting. I would not describe myself as gay if somebody were to ask me who I was.
So your sexual identity isn't an integral part of your personality then, in your opinion?
No.
Well, that's you. I know other people like that. I had a friend of mine that was gay that was from Oak Ridge, and he was a big-time HIV doctor.
Well, it's not an integral part of mine either. I never mention it.
Football fan, you never know that he was gay unless he didn't straight up just tell you he was gay. And he wouldn't just tell you he was gay. He'd be like, I'm Craig. I like these, hi, I'm Craig. I like Tennessee football and old Chevrolet trucks. That's how he would describe himself. Nowhere in any of that would he acknowledge that he even has a sexuality because, well, that's just not how people talk.
Right.
Do straight people go around
reminding
that they're
people?
straight?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was talking about. It's actually kind of dependent upon our surroundings.
I think we kind of do, though, because being married is a very central part of my identity.
But that's not the same thing as going around when you're not in a relationship.
I'm single
saying,
and I like to do it with girls.
Right. Like, it just seems so just bizarre. I don't know, to be like, to go around and just be like telling people, like, introduce yourself as, I don't even know how I would introduce myself as being gay. Like
it is in large part because of the minority situation. I mean, of course, if you're part of the majority, if you're straight, or if you're part of the white majority, you wouldn't go, oh, I'm white. It wouldn't be your primary thing.
Jesus Christ, I should hope that if you look at me, you can tell.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
I am like physically the whitest guy I know.
Yeah, but I mean, we're on the
Chris
radio.
Chris is close.
We're on the radio, though. I mean,
Yeah.
people might not be watching closely.
Right. Speaking of watching, if you'd like to watch us on our on-air studio line, you can check us out at LRN.FM, or you can also check us out at twitch.lrn.fm.
And I also wouldn't point out, like most atheists do, that I'm an atheist to every random person I happen to pass. But if you put me inside of a church and somebody came up to me, I'm like, yeah, well, I'm an atheist, so I'm not interested. So, I mean, how we identify ourselves depends on our surroundings.
True. I mean, if somebody was trying to sell me on religion, then yeah, I might say I'm atheist, but that's like in response to the circumstance, not necessarily like.
Well, I mean, that's part of the surroundings. So I mean, that would, by definition, be part of the surroundings, is the person coming up to you and approaching. I'm not saying you would go up to every person in the church and go, "Hi, I'm an atheist." But if asked your religious beliefs or your religious leanings, you would say, "I'm an atheist."
Hello, my name's Arya. Have I told you about the wonders and beauty of Nietzsche?
Now that I might
do. Have I told you about our Lord and Savior Nietzsche?
I guess if it was something if that was something that I was like, intimately like an interest of mine, maybe,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know, like it's just
Well, I mean, you're not from a strong religious background, are you?
I don't know how to answer that. I guess not.
This actually reminds me of a really funny story. So in 2010, I moved my family from Florida to Knoxville, Tennessee. And when we got there, like, I left Florida. I'd been working with Tea Party groups there. I'd created a great relationship. You had the Muslim community, you had local Tea Party groups literally in a civil war. You can find like evidence of it online still. Where the original Tea Party groups and this guy named Doug Getzlow, who was a Republican operative who basically built a parallel Tea Party in Florida, and there was a federal lawsuit. I mean, it's a really big thing. The original Tea Party groups, you had they were led by a lady who did work with Afghan families, me, a white Christian convert, and my co-host of the radio show that I worked on at the time was Phil Russo, who was the son of a Syrian refugee. Like, his mother was a refugee of the Syrian civil war in the 70s. And so, like, it just wasn't really a big deal for me. So I come to Knoxville, and I go to like 4 or 5 meetings, and I'm trying to explain to them some of our fundraising ways that efforts that we had done in Florida and different ways they could do it. And this lady comes up to me at the end, and she's asking me about me, and oh yeah, I'm married. Yeah, I do have kids. How many? Oh well, at the time, I had 4 and 1 on the way. I hadn't hit the magical 8 yet. I had 4 and 1 on the way, and she goes, "Oh my goodness, you know what? I'm just so glad to hear that. It's so good to see young white families having lots of children, because I saw this video online, and the Muslims, they're outbreeding us 3, 4, 5 to 1. They have 8, 10 kids, and they're taking over America. I'm so glad to see you and your family having a big, because big families, good white folk don't have big families like that no more." And I'm just standing there kind of smiling, and I looked at her. When she finally finished, I looked at her, I said, "Well, actually, I'm Muslim." And the look on this woman's, because I'd never really thought to bring it up, like, I'm just there, I'm talking, like, we're talking about politics, and like, I don't see where, public sector union bargaining has anything to do with the fact that I'm Muslim, Right. So it just never dawned on me to be like, "Oh, and by the way, everybody, I'm Muslim." 'Cause I'm just here. You walk by my wife and kids on the way. It's at a Christian bookstore, by the way, in the back. And my wife you got to walk right through the children's section to get to where the meeting room is. And my wife is there in hijab with my kids. And I'm like, do I got to wear a big old sign for you? I mean, I'm the only one here with a big long beard and no mustache who leaves here with a woman in a headscarf every day. Do I got to tattoo it on my forehead, for you to understand? Well, so I totally get the whole and I'm an imam now. You
actually don't stand out for like a technical audience. Like there's a lot of people with beards, but they're not Muslim. So, but the fact that there was another headscarfed woman in the room probably should have.
Well, yeah. I mean, I leave with a woman wearing hijab every day who's brown.
Or hijab. I can't even say that word.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Refrigerated Cookie Dough. Who would you bake some love for? Find fun and easy baking ideas at tollhouse.com. Kids love doing arts and crafts projects, especially when you join in. Try channeling all that artistic energy into the kitchen and bake up some creative treats together. Think of your art supplies as the frosting, sprinkles, and decorating gels, and use cookies or cupcakes as your canvas. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
All right. Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It's another beautiful day in the Shire. About 80 today. Taking my kids to a baseball game after work tonight, I believe. It's fan appreciation day or something. My 6-year-old's really wants to learn how to play baseball, so I was like, why not go waste 2 hours? I hate baseball, I really do. Even when I went to games when I was a kid, I totally did not. I went and did all the other stuff that was close to the baseball game, like the park, and I was like, I don't want to watch this. This is boring. I hate this.
I skateboarded at them.
Yeah, exactly.
So are we talking about sports ball?
The Swamp. Did you know Keene
Some
has
kind of
its
shooting
own
hoops, I think.
Did you know Keene has its own amateur baseball team, like a minor league team? They're called the Swamp Bats.
No. Wait, so this is a real
yes.
like adults playing baseball for fun?
For money.
For money.
Yes.
Wow.
They're a minor league team. You know, like the Mud Skippers.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay, there's the Major League Baseball teams.
All right, what does that mean? It's like the best of the
ones
best?
that make millions.
Okay.
And then there's the minors, and they make like $200 a month. But injuries are the same. Anyway, so I want to get through the rest of this so that we can finish up. I know we're definitely going to have to spend part of the second hour on this. But yeah, anyway, let's continue on with Abdul Hakim Murad of the Cambridge University Islamic Studies program.
Into all of that. Well, I think we have to, but we must be cautious. The danger is that the race relations industry has a language which we have internalized in our own community so that we play the game of identity politics. That the basic sense of ourselves, the core of ourselves, is that we are historically underestimated, put upon, aggrieved, and we need to get our own back in order to claim our place in the sun. And many communities, the civil rights movement in America, currently celebrating its 50th anniversary as a success story, is an example. It's rooted in this idea that communities have at the core of their identity a sense that historic wrongs have been done to them. I think that's a dangerous basis for a religious community. And I don't find it in the Quran and in the Sunnah. In the Quran and the Sunnah, we do not have an atmosphere of grievance and of complaint. Instead, what we have is something that certainly the race relations industry and the normal discourse of secular Britain can make no sense of, which is tawakkul, the principle of tawakkul. If we have that principle of reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we will not worry, we will not fret. Others can, it seems, gang up on us, but we can sleep easily at night. One of the extraordinary things that we can learn for our situation here in the contemporary modern world is from the story of the hijrah of the chosen one, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and how he broke through the identity politics of his own age. The extraordinary message that it didn't matter any longer if you were from Aus or from Khazraj or from Bani Najjar, it didn't matter at all. Instead, there was something new. There was the Sharia, there was the idea of a law, and there was the idea of a community that could ethically transcend people's tribal identities. The old tribal way had been based on tha'ar, vendetta, tit for tat, an outraged pride if the honor of one's tribe was insulted. Sometimes we can still be like that. The Jahiliyyah has not yet departed from us.
Now, is that not a perfect description of what we see now with the Twitter army, what I call the inquisitional left, where I mean, it's a social inquisition. The purpose is to burn you at the stake publicly and to make a public example of anyone who steps out of I mean, it's no different than public stoning or public hanging. The only difference is you're dead, but you're still breathing. You know, like I can no longer feed my family. I don't have a job. I can't live in my neighborhood. You've turned me nationally into a social pariah, but I'm still alive. You know, I'm still living and breathing, so that makes it all okay. This like a culture of vengeance.
You know, it's
I'm owed. I'm owed because someone did something to someone else.
It's interesting. So I actually put myself on a list, so to speak, in support of a guy named Jacob Appelbaum. Not so much because I thought what he may or may not have done was right or wrong, but because of that social pariah thing, that basically there was no evidence against him except a bunch of hearsay. And there was I think there might have been I don't know if it was just there was basically a website, and it had a bunch of anonymous people with basically half of it not filled in, and stories about how this guy supposedly did stuff and bad stuff or whatever. And in the end, it turned out basically it was just one big campaign, probably by some sort of possibly government, but maybe not. But same thing where it's at some point it's what do you put up with? And he, the guy lost his job and everything else, and he may not have been a nice guy, but he didn't actually. In this case, it was in accusations of rape and similar, and it's the women who supposedly the stories were really happened to a degree, but they came out saying, well, he didn't rape me. I was voluntarily in that situation. I just didn't like it, and
buyer's remorse.
Right,
buyer's remorse is rape. That's the craziest thing. Well, the sex wasn't good, or you know what? 3 days later, I kind of regret it. Well, that doesn't. You can't nullify consent after the fact.
Right. Exactly.
That's not how this works. That's not how any of this. If you sign a contract, 3 days later, you don't get to be like, you know what? I changed my mind. That's not how this works.
Right.
Stupid.
Exactly. And anyway, so I added my name to a list in support of a public list in support of Jacob Appelbaum and the fact that they shouldn't have torn him down. It was wrong to be doing that just because there was somebody put up a website basically and attacked him. It was wrong to be going after him for that. Now if they come out and it was not anonymous and everything else, and people have said, I mean, then you have to take a look at it and factor in what's appropriate, but there wasn't any of that. It was just and there's a huge danger to doing this kind of thing.
Well, even that was ultimately about identity. The people that we're dealing with here in the West today, they don't have an identity for themselves, so they seek to be given one from other collectives that they most closely identify with, and that characteristic that defines that group becomes that person's defining characteristic.
Yeah,
and they get so used to doling out identities to other people because they had one doled out onto themselves.
Yeah.
That when they encounter someone who they think has their identity wrong, like you're white, you're not simply white, you're a Nazi because you're white.
Yeah.
They feel it's their duty, their responsibility to tell the other people what their identities actually are.
One thing I see, it's politicizing things that don't need to be politicized. So, for example, hijab. The covering that women wear. I see so many women now that say that they don't wear it for the reason that you're supposed to, because it's pleasing to God and because your religion says that you should. They wear it as it's a political statement. I'm showing that I'm Muslim to fight back. Okay, but would you be doing this if you didn't feel like that whole identitarian thing and emboldened because of that? Well, do you do it because you want to? Because it's a part of your religion, or are you doing it because it's a part of this new pseudo religion that you're basically joining this your new political religion? Because that's what it's happening now. Politics and religion have swapped places. It's no longer Methodist, Baptist,
well, it's not just religion.
Catholic.
That's what I said earlier. The political identity of a person has just totally consumed everything else. All other identities become subordinate to their political views.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know.
I mean, there are exceptions for people out there.
If you're white, it's your skin color. Everything on Earth exists surrounding everything is based on your skin color. And I know this because I've been attacked based on my skin color before. And they were like, well, no, it has nothing to do with your race, but you're white and the white to the white and white's white and whitey white and white devil, blue-eyed white devil. And I'm like, well, if it doesn't have anything to do with my color, then you just wrote a 6-paragraph thesis that every 10th word was white. So if it has nothing to do with me being white, why do you mention it so much? It's like the atheist. It's like, I don't have any problem with God. I only talk about it constantly. Well, I mean, I can totally tell that.
Well, to be fair,
the Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, July 31st, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.49 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,220 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $27, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,877. Antiwar.com reports addressing media questions on Monday. President Donald Trump announced that he is willing to meet with Iranian President Hassan Rouhani if the Iranians are willing to do so. He said they could meet anytime with no preconditions. The comments come after a week of conflicting statements on Iran, many from Trump himself. This time last week, Trump was threatening Iran with consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered, but then said he was willing to make a deal just days later. This was followed by reports as recently as Sunday that the U.S. is preparing to attack Iran. Trump said he views this meeting as generally positive, saying one with Rouhani would be good for the country, good for them, good for us, and good for the world. Iran has not, as of Monday evening, responded to Trump's comments. Iranian state media, however, had reported earlier in the month that Rouhani's chief of staff told them that Trump had asked for meetings with Rouhani 8 times in the past month and was rebuffed. Iranian officials had said they were not interested in one-sided talks under the shadow of a threat, which isn't to say Iran would not accept talks under any circumstances, but that Iran is clearly not interested in following the North Korea model of protracted U.S. threats and ever-increasing sanctions, even when the negotiations are ongoing. Iran expert Trita Parsi expressed doubts that Trump would be able to get a better deal out of Iran, calling many of Trump's demands non-starters. He added that the better deal would need more American concessions to be reached. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 13,000 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed secure node systems of any cryptocurrency, and Zencash now has supernodes. Supernodes will bring network, economic, and technical improvements across the network. And the official Zencash wallet is available on Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com. Zencash.com. UPI reports the next time you walk through an airport to catch a flight, the Transportation Security Administration might have an extra eye on you, even if you don't have a criminal record or aren't on any watch list. The agency has acknowledged the existence of its Quiet Skies surveillance program, an added airport security measure designed to watch for potential signs of danger, first reported by the Boston Globe. Michael Bolello, Assistant Administrator for TSA Public Affairs, told UPI the program uses an algorithm to observe travelers, including U.S. citizens, to identify a pattern of travel and passengers whose destinations and activities match intelligence on terrorist threats. This data is collected, reviewed by TSA personnel, and combined with state, local, federal law enforcement information to determine whether the traveler may be a threat to flight crew or passengers. TSA personnel then refer any potential threatening information to federal air marshals. Under the program, the marshals observe passenger activity in airport terminals, including who they talk to and their visits to airport restrooms. They also watch for signs of potential trouble, excessive fidgeting, sweating, use of computers, and whether a passenger waits to board the plane last. Bolello noted TSA agents are trained to look for passengers who may be acting erratically at TSA checkpoints, but that observation ends upon exiting the checkpoint. He said if the person were in the program, the air marshal would then begin observing them on the sterile side of the airport because they are trying to anticipate their next move. They're trying to determine if the person is a threat to aviation security. Bolello said only a very small population of travelers are placed in the program, and it's not intended to watch ordinary Americans. He added the program does not select passengers for observation based on race or religion. Although they are targets of extra scrutiny, the tracked passengers are not suspected of any crimes. Passengers who continue to fly without any adverse incidents for a period of time can be removed from the Quiet Skies program. Quiet Skies has been in use since 2010, and both Congress and the airlines have been aware of the program. Officials said the surveillance program is in use at most of the busiest airports in the United States, including Seattle, Minneapolis, Detroit, Boston, New York City, Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Las Vegas, Charlotte, Phoenix, Myrtle Beach, Atlanta, Houston, Miami, Philadelphia, and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. Fans help FPP afford to produce more original content. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following the conclusion of yet another day marked by a litany of tedious and unavoidable realities, The Onion spoke with sociologist Dr. Timothy Coghill, who told reporters that the nation would be forced to go through all of it again tomorrow.
As our projections demonstrate, tomorrow, like today, every man, woman, and child in America will wake up and do it all again. All of it, including traffic, the workday, bad coffee, your kid's soccer game, laundry, the struggling economy.
Statistical evidence also showed that the nation would once again endure traumatic childhood memories, Twitter, anxiety, poverty, consumerism, rampant abuses of the legal system,
joint pain, racial inequality, global warming, the steady erosion of civil liberties, violence, loneliness, disease, unresolved intimacy issues, the ravages of age, hunger, sexual frustration, existential dread, the looming specter of death.
For more on this unending story, check this week's Onion Review.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hodl. Hodl.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by motionproject.org here on the Call to Freedom.
That's right. It's time for the Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. And, well, what we decided to do is, instead of starting the Crypto Hour off at our normal time, we're going to continue on with the discussion that we had going on. Oh! Uh-oh. You guys know what that sound means. That is the sound of our Motion Project faucet. Motion Project's faucet is brought to you by motionproject.org, the home for Kickstarter, the home for GoFundMe in the crypto space. Go on over to motionproject.org and put your ideas into motion. So give us a call at 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160, and claim your wallet with 10 free Motion coins right now. So we've been listening to Sheikh Abdul Hakim Murad, also known as Timothy Winter, the head of the Islamic Studies Department at Cambridge University in Britain. And we've been listening to him as he talks about identity politics. And basically, again, I agree wholeheartedly with his original point, which is that identity politics is seeking to solidify definitions for terms that have never had solid definitions. White never was a single identity. White was German. It was Nordic.
British,
it was
Italian.
British, Italian. You know, like there are many different cultures. And that's all been lost into a single hegemonic boogeyman, if you will.
Only here in America. I mean, the Germans still identify as German. The Italians still identify as Italian.
But the identity politics is...
I mean, they're more European now.
No, I'm sorry. With the rise of like Geert Wilders and Tony, like identity politics is global in Western culture. Specifically Western societies. Societies that are, quote unquote, white. And identity politics, it's the worst in America. America and England have it worse. But there was someone made I'm trying to remember who it was. Basically, his argument was that the reason why is because of tribalism, racial tribalism, and the willingness of people to help members of their own tribe, but not willing to help members of other tribes. So in Norway, socialism was great, and it worked really well, as long as Norwegians all looked, spoke, dressed, ate, worshipped. It was the same,
right?
More or less. You know, you could be Baptist or Methodist or Catholic, but outside of those differences, you know, or outside of being a townie versus a hick, there was still considered like a single culture, even though there were variations within it. It was considered a single ethnic culture. And then you had the rise of multiculturalism, which I'm married to a girl who's an immigrant from Africa. I love it. You know, like I wear Indian clothes, I eat African food, and my kids love fried chicken and collard greens.
You appropriated an African woman.
You know? So that's not funny at all.
It's not. It's not funny.
Jesus. You totally just derailed the hell out of me. Anyway, but now I can't remember what I was saying. Oh, but
I mean, I thought about that when you mentioned that you eat African food.
Now,
and what I thought was, you know, this identity politics crowd would accuse you of appropriating African food.
Yeah.
But then you went on to say that you married an African woman. So
I did, and I give khutbahs, and I use Arabic in my khutbahs, and I dress in African or Indian or Morocco, or not Moroccan, because Morocco was part of Africa, but you know, African, Indian, or Arab style dress when I give my khutbahs, you know, the sermons I give. I'm the only white face at the mosque that I run, and I'm the imam. I'm also the only face that's born here, that's not a child in our entire community. That's not just the people that come to the mosque. That's all the Muslims in a 40-mile radius of here. I'm the only American. I'm the only Caucasian.
Yeah.
But, to the Michael Muhammad Knights out there, that's a bad thing. Even though before I came here, there was no masjid. The amenities, so to speak, that we have now weren't here. They didn't exist. We didn't have community events. There was no iftar with the mayor and the state representatives and state senators in our region. There was none of that. Now there is. And still, the Linda Sarsauers, the Michael Muhammad Knights, they still eschew the entire idea that a person of my color should be allowed to be in a position of authority over brown Muslims, as they put it. They accepted me in this position. Who are you? You have a degree in social work. You have a degree in social work. You have a degree in journalism. I taught comparative Western religion and Islamic studies at the University of Central Florida. Which one of us really has a real even right academically to have an opinion at all on this subject?
So I have a question for you, and I'm sure you'll know this. Muslims, they're all brown. I put that in quotes, so to speak.
No, that's another thing. Arabs make up about 20% of the Muslim population. Okay. Albanians, Croats, basically the Caucasus.
So the argument fails.
Make up about 18%. So there are almost as many white Muslims as there are Arab Muslims.
So the whole argument falls flat on its face.
But it doesn't.
Why doesn't it fail?
Because they keep repeating it
over and over and over again.
Well, it still fails, even if you're stupid and you repeat something.
It's successful enough that I've been refused events by the Libertarian Party. Yeah. And I've been...
The Libertarian Party nationally?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The Libertarian Party nationally doesn't know what a libertarian is.
Right. And I've also been refused... I've been refused radio spots on different radio broadcasts, specifically because when they said, I'm looking for a Muslim, and then a bunch of people were like, oh, well, I know this Muslim, he's on radio, and he did... I had just done like the Ask a Muslim thing on Free Talk Live, so I'd just been on like 100 and some odd stations right around that time, and the response invariably was, no, he's a white guy, I want a Muslim. Right?
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
That's just hilariously
he's white.
like...
I want a Muslim. I'm like... What do you mean he's white?
So,
I want a Muslim?
This is for radio?
Yeah.
So they wouldn't even know that you were...
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
One of them, this was the one, there was she was a liberal, she was a black liberal radio show host. She said, it was right after the Boston bombing, I think, or maybe it was the Orlando shooting. I think it was Pulse, the Pulse nightclub. And I actually had a friend that was at Pulse nightclub when it happened.
Okay.
That I've been to Pulse nightclub. My wife and I have been to Pulse nightclub together to see a drag show that a friend of mine was in.
So did it really happen?
I don't know. Bobby said that he was in the parking lot when the shooting started. Yeah.
Okay, so somebody thought it something really happened.
Yeah, something
it happened. I mean,
yeah.
Everybody's denying it, or was.
Yeah, lunatics on Facebook and Twitter who have no friends or family in the Orlando area. I mean, there's absolutely no doubt for any sane person.
Well, that's why I was curious. Did it really happen?
I went to seminary in Orlando and taught at university
there.
Yeah, Bobby said he was in the parking lot when the shooting started. Anyway, when we get back, we'll continue on with this discussion on Call to...
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar. and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agoristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agorist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agoristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agoristhosting.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we've been having a discussion about identity politics today. Probably not the best subject while we were having our possible new co-host for Wednesday nights listen to a little while on the show. Maybe not the best subject. Now in hindsight, probably... most definitely not the best subject. But we've been listening to Sheikh Abdul Hakim Murad. He's the head of the Islamic Studies Department at Cambridge University in Britain, and it's something that they're starting to see there, to the point that you have religious leaders speaking to the Muslim community and saying like, look, you guys, I understand the right is rhetorically against you, but the left, they drop the same bombs the right does. Nothing's really changing, like you put. We had Tony Blair, and he was a Labor Party liberal, and he shacked up with George W. Bush and killed millions of Iraqis. So, putting your ball in the liberal camp didn't help. And George Bush specifically campaigned on not nation building. The Muslims voted for him, and you see how that worked. And then they turn around and vote for Obama because, I'm going to stop the wars, and I'm going to close Guantanamo, and I'm going to leave 45,000 troops in Iraq when I, quote unquote, end the occupation. Bro, you left 45,000 troops in the country. That's not ending a war. I'm sorry. I don't know. Well, yeah, but they're not.
But plenty of idiots think that we are no longer at war in Iraq.
And yes, we still have troops in Iraq.
Are we still dropping bombs? That's the question.
There we go.
If the answer is yes, we're still at war.
Now we're bombing. They're like, Obama was a pro-peace president. I'm sorry. Let's see. Under Obama, we overthrew the government of Libya and took them from what progressives would call a socialist utopia. They had free healthcare, free education, all of those things, and not to mention they also had a booming economy. If you look at the pictures of what it looked like 3 months before America decided to incite a coup, and today, where they literally have reopened the black Africans slave trade.
What?
Yeah, they literally sell black Africans on the side of the road in Libya now. Something that was completely...
USA.
Right?
There's nothing more American than selling black people, though.
This is the progressives' messiah.
Wasn't slavery supposedly wiped out all over the planet?
Oh my goodness, no.
No.
It still exists in South America, Africa, Asia.
Israel.
Seems like
Saudi, the United States.
It seems like we've redefined slavery in order to come to that conclusion. But if they're selling people on the side of the road,
here.
We
have slavery here.
Slavery.
Oh yeah,
Florida is
okay. So
filled with
I would agree. If you're talking about the kind of slavery I'm thinking of, but it's a different time. It's a different type of slavery.
You commit a crime and you become a slave for the state or the
corporation.
So
if you live in Florida and you commit a crime,
I would agree
say
with you
you get caught with 10 pounds of marijuana, right? And you live in Florida.
It's no coincidence that drugs are the reason most people are thrown in prison. Most people thrown in prison are black. It's slavery.
You go to prison for 6 years, right? Because of this 10 pounds of marijuana that you got. If you don't get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go have chow and then go to work at the factory that's in the prison in Florida, after the guards kick the living crap out of you, you get discipline. You can get time added to your sentence. You can lose all of your ability to get gain time. You will work in that factory. And they say it's not slavery because they pay them $1.75 a week. And it's like, I'm sorry, man. That doesn't change what it really is.
Yep.
You kick a guy $1.50 and then charge him $16 for the pack of cigarettes in the commissary. It really drives home what this really is.
Yeah.
When it's $4 for a honey bun and I'm making $1.75 a day, it really drives home what this really is. I work a 40-hour work week and I get a honey bun and a Coca-Cola out of it at the end of the week with all the money that I make. It really drives home what this really is.
Yeah, and I've always thought that was wrong. Half these people shouldn't be in prison in the first place, but I'm not really a fan of prison. I kind of think the prison is an archaic idea. I think we should eliminate prison altogether. But yeah.
I'm at a loss sometimes when I talk about it because it's just we're attacking the wrong Somebody said mean no words.
Yeah.
2/3 of states have literal slavery.
Is it only 2/3? I would have thought it was 100%.
I mean, we, particularly the left,
it probably is
seems-
100%, but it's one degree or another, right?
They just seem to have a really bad problem picking their battles.
Some states are certainly worse. Florida's one of them.
You know, like the left is like, oh, he said bad, mean, no words, but like things that
Parchment
really
in
matter.
Mississippi is-
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah. I think they
Just
have
swept
actual
under.
cotton fields there.
Jesus.
But I mean, the
prisons.
bigger problem is that it's
I
right
worked-
by the delta, so it's
I worked on a prison work farm.
close to 100 degrees.
Right.
We provided all the grocery at Marion in Marion County, Florida. We provided all of the vegetables and pork and eggs and chicken and fish that was eaten by the inmates and the guards.
Okay.
So, and they let an entire stock of pigs die because I'm just a stupid inmate when I told them what was wrong with them. Because I grew up on a hog farm.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you didn't, inmate. Get back over there and pick broccoli. And I'm like, no, those orange spots, you need to give him this and mix it with some of the coal out of the fire and it'll get rid of it. And instead they didn't listen and they let the animal die. And then you had like 24 hogs die. Because
I mean, there is a huge element of enmity between prison guards and the inmates.
I'm always amazed at like how we managed to hire like basically the dumbest people to be prison guards, and then like the prison guards are like even they're as stupid or stupider than the inmates in many cases.
Oh, the inmates, particularly in the area in the fields of like engineering,
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff like that.
I mean,
the
there's-
inmates make the guards look like
There's some
like
pretty damn smart people in prison.
Extremely smart
Yeah.
people in prison. It's part of what got them put in there.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be back with more of the Call to Freedom after this. So stick around.
The American robin heralds the beginning of spring in temperate climates across North America. Its red breast makes it easily identifiable as the most disturbingly efficient murderer in the animal kingdom. Here, we see a robin rip a worm out of the ground with no moral hesitation whatsoever. This atrocity is but one in a series of cold-blooded murders this bird will commit in a single day. Although feces-fueled worms are themselves one of the most disgusting of all animals, the robin's cruelty remains indefensible. Some apologists might argue that robins need to eat worms to survive, but worms are capable of regeneration. So robins could satiate themselves on fractions of individual worms and leave the rest. But it does not. Unequivocal evidence of the robin's bloodlust.
This is the Onion News Network.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar. That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest-running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, you know, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com. Advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे.
Hey everybody, my name is Carlos Matos and I am coming from New York City, New York. Let me tell you guys that I am so excited, I am so happy, I am really so thrilled to be right now sharing this amazing, glorious, super and exciting moment of my life with all of you guys. And let me tell you that we are really changing the world as we know it. The world is not anymore the way it used to be. No.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And I got a question for you. Who do you think is a better shill for cryptocurrencies? Would you rather have Carlos Matos? Huh? Would you rather have Carlos Matos?
Or
Steven Seagal?
What?
Or
how does he enter into the picture?
Yeah, because he was repping the Bitcoin with two eyes. Yeah, him and Sugar Ray. So, would you rather have shilling your coin, Carlos Matos, Sugar Ray Leonard, Steven Seagal, John McAfee, or Bill Clinton?
Oh my God!
Yeah, no joke. Ripple.
Are you kidding me?
Ripple. Fed.gov.coin.
Are you for real?
Tried to tell y'all. None of you people wanted to listen. I hope you are listening now. Virgil.
Is this the Onion?
No, this is CoinDesk. According to CoinDesk, former U.S. President Bill Clinton will headline Ripple's Swell Conference later this year. The cryptocurrency payment startup announced today. The 42nd president of the U.S. will give both a keynote address and participate in a question and answer session, Ripple said in a press release. The conference will take place in San Francisco over the first 2 days of October. Clinton, quote, helped usher in a period of extreme growth and adoption of the internet.
Oh my God, I can't believe they said that.
As president, according to the release. Now, this is from Ripple. This is Ripple's words.
It's patently false is what it is.
He also oversaw programs which helped communities and individuals gain access to the internet during his presidency.
All right, wait a minute. What did he do? So
he did nothing. Economic stuff happened while he was president, so he gets the credit.
The release states, quote, these learnings are perhaps more relevant now than ever. Like the internet boom of the 90s, we're at an impasse.
Okay,
Digital
we do
assets,
not want to draw parallels between the .com bubble and cryptocurrencies.
Well, Ripple does.
He was like,
Fed.coin.cup. The future of crypto, Aria. If you don't like Ripple, then you're just dumb.
I will accept that from people who like Ripple gladly.
You just aren't informed. You're spreading FUD, Aria.
No, Ripple getting Bill Clinton to speak is selling FUD.
Is FUD.
Because, I mean, the response to FUD is to get the state involved. And there's no bigger FUD for cryptocurrency than the involvement of the state.
Well, not according to Ripple and all of its fans. Don't you know that regulation is just something you're going to have to accept is going to happen, so you might as well get rich off of it?
No, it's something that we're going to have to find a way to circumvent. Using things like Zencash.
You shouldn't fight the state. You should find a way to profit.
I will fight the state until the state puts a bullet in my head.
But what about profits? You're trying to make cryptos for making profits. And if you don't make profits, then you won't have profits. And you have to help the regulators because then you'll have more profits.
Isn't the regulation how we got into this mess in the first place?
I don't see the logic between making profits and regulation. I mean, maybe for people
go
like
on
Coinbase.
Facebook and talk in these
regulation results in less profit.
Anarchist crypto groups, and they'll tell you that no, you have to invest in Ripple because you're going to make money. And if they're the downfall of cryptocurrency, well, that's just inevitable. You should get rich off of it.
That's a really nihilistic way of viewing things.
How do you get rich off of it failing?
Well, you get rich off of it killing cryptocurrency, but Ripple itself will be successful. But Ripple isn't cryptocurrency.
See? You got to do something. See, the banks aren't going anywhere because they're the banks. So what we have to do is find a way to make crypto work with the bad guys that it was created to get rid of so that we can all make more money.
I mean, the only reason banks haven't been done away with entirely within crypto communities is that it is still the easiest way to turn cash into crypto and crypto into cash.
Yeah, I'm probably one of the few people who a good portion of my crypto just comes directly from other people.
I mean, Ripple sucks, though. I want Ripple to fail, and I want it to fail in flames. And I want people to look at it and go, man, that was a really bad idea. Let's not do it again.
Well, I posted about this a couple hours ago when I first found out about it. And oddly enough, none of the big Ripple, they're just constantly blowing the Ripple horn. See, I knew I could get it out without making a joke.
You
they're constantly
did until you said that,
right? They're constantly blowing the Ripple horn. Oddly, I don't hear them say any response at all to, "Hey guys, you know those people that you hate, the Clintons? Guess who Ripple's paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to come and speak at their convention."
Oh, isn't it millions? Isn't it like $15 million to get Bill Clinton to speak?
Probably. It's a lot. I know it's more than John McAfee.
I don't know if it's that much.
They hate McAfee. But
because he's an anarchist.
Watch them find ways. These are supposed to be anarchists.
Hey, tell them not to bend over in front of Bill Clinton, though.
These are not anarchists or libertarians.
I know that's what Ripple does.
You know one of them. You know one of them.
Who are we talking about?
Free Talk Live advertises his service.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
The founder of Cell 411 is an avid Ripple apostle.
Why? What in God's name does he see in it?
Profits, man. You got to make money.
I have to say, a lot of people who say they're libertarian or they're anarchists, I don't understand what that they don't understand what that means.
Well, we talked about that last week and whether or not cryptocurrency libertarians and anarchists could actually even constitutionally put anything in front of profits, or if they're just going to chase after profits in whatever form they see them, even if it means
the undoing of their own philosophy.
Yeah, because there's profit in it.
Yeah, like what
it's kind of an argument that capitalism eats itself.
It's like Bernie Sanders. He hates war. He's super anti-war. That's why he pushes for Congress to have F-35s built.
Well, yeah, because if
they're
we
built in Vermont.
Well, if we annihilate every other country,
they are, yeah,
and we bomb every other country into oblivion, then there will be no war. There will be world peace.
See, he votes no on going into the war, but once we're there, he votes yes on all the bills to build the stuff and pay for it, because the factories, a lot of them are in his home state, so that's tax revenue for his state and income for his people. So
wait a minute. Now here's a question.
So he's anti-war.
Vermont get to collect sales tax on the stuff it sells to the federal government?
No, but they get to sell.
Only if they sold it through Amazon.
They get to. But they do get to collect income tax from all of the local employees who work there and make just over minimum wage to sorter points on multi-million-dollar missiles that we use to bomb goat herders that can't read.
For freedom.
For freedom! Freedom! America! We'll be right back.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire, and it's another beautiful day in the Shire. Now, we're joined in studio today. This is my one day a week right now that we always, the full crew is in the studio. We've got, we've got Chris Wade from thinkpenguin.com, along with Queen of Crypto herself, Miss Aria DeMezzo from cryptocurrencycheck.org. Now, you've also got a new writing career going on again, huh, Aria?
I did. The first article was just in Sunday's paper.
Woohoo! Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah. The Eagle Times. It doesn't deliver here. Keene is just outside of its delivery area, which kind of sucks because I would like a copy of the paper. But they do have the articles online. I'm writing an article called The Master Controller, a tech and gaming article. Basically doing gaming reviews.
Very cool.
Like I did Skyrim VR this week. And this week I think I'm going to do Final Fantasy 15.
Oh.
The best part is being able to pick what games I review. Whereas at Cube 3, it was like, hey, we need you to review this terrible, crappy game that is like $1.99 on Steam. And I'm like, please don't make me do that.
Oh, wow.
So we were talking about, the new big thing, Ripple. And, you know, here on this show, we have never, ever been fans of Ripple because, well, Ripple sucks. They're pretty much straight up about the fact that they're centralized and that they are looking to do business with the bad guys that crypto was created to circumvent and cut out of the deal to begin with. I mean, we knew it was only a matter of time until people usurped the values and ideas of the crypto community and decided to use a beautiful invention basically as a way to enrich themselves and ingratiate themselves to the very evil overlords that crypto was created to destroy.
Yeah, because, I mean, it comes back to that thing about libertarians and anarchists in general being driven more by profit than any ideological concern. So, I mean, if there's money in getting
then
on
you're
their
not a
knees in front of the
libertarian or an
state-
anarchist. If you're driven by profit more than your philosophy, then you can't say that you're a follower of that philosophy. If I'm driven,
I mean, wouldn't that be a capitalist, not an anarchist or libertarian?
Exactly. You don't have to
But
be.
see, they don't understand the difference because to them, libertarianism and anarchism are just licenses to be ultra-capitalists, putting capitalism and profit first and everything else second. It's why
that is people's general understanding. I would agree.
And it's why
at least among
Ian
socialists.
will tell you that libertarians don't tip, and it's exactly for that same concern. Though my money,
right?
You mean you want me to give someone money?
When we were doing the Ramadan feedings, the first 2 years that we did them, the reaction of people sometimes was almost distrustful. Like, why are you doing this? What do you get out of it? And I was like, I get to work for 5 hours and have you ask me what my ulterior motives are. That's what I get out of it. You know, I get to have a good conversation with a few of you and explain my faith to someone who may not have had a good understanding of it. I get to create community and bring people together. I get to do what my religion tells me to do. There's all kinds of things that I get out of it, but it also is a major headache and a huge, labor undertaking. And I feel that it's more than a valuable trade-off.
Well, I kind of feel like any action that you take should be worth doing, so you should get something back for it. Now, whether or not, it's the thing that you're doing that you're getting something back for, or it's just the reward for doing something good, that's still, you're getting something for it, right?
Yeah. There is no such thing as a selfless act.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
there isn't. There really, even the religious person that does things to please God, the self is figured in somewhere.
Yeah, that's not a selfless act by any stretch of the imagination.
The self is figured into that equation. So
right, well, because the self wants to please God because that's good for the self.
Exactly.
Right.
But
the thing is, with these libertarians and anarchists, they think that the only thing you can get in return that's worth anything is money. There's no sense of contentment. No, I did a good deed. Did I make money for it? That's the only metric that matters to them.
I would think money would matter to anybody. Like, even a socialist would need money to live or survive, or
but it shouldn't be the only thing that matters to people.
It shouldn't be, but I'm not. It does. Is it the only thing that matters to any group?
I would say it
I
may
would
not
say
be the
certain
only thing,
members of
but
every
it's the
group.
primary thing. It's.
I would think that would be the primary thing amongst every group. I mean, we need money, and we need
say that there's the
something in
selfless-
return for our efforts in order to live.
There's the selfless and the selfish among every group. You have
I mean, you're
Democrats.
confusing need and desire here. These people desire more money. It's not about whether they need money to pay their bills or to buy groceries or whatever. It's that they want more money.
Yeah.
Because their 2014 Lamborghini isn't good enough.
Well, yeah, you've got Democrats. Like Hillary Clinton is a Democrat. I would never define her as selfless. Bill Clinton is a Democrat. I would never define him as a selfless individual. But I have friends that are Democrats who are bleeding heart, who literally work till 3 o'clock in the morning to help immigrant kids and stuff, and they do it for like $26,000 a year living in California. They literally are living on beans and rice.
Yeah,
like the immigrants that they're helping, and they have law degrees. And they're Democrats.
I'm sometimes skeptical when people say things like that about.
Well, I know him, so I know him. He had to move back to Virginia because he couldn't sustain living in California doing his work.
Yeah, but
he now lives in Virginia because he can make that amount of money. He just has to do all of his work remotely. But he's still practicing law in California, living in Virginia, fighting immigration cases for these people because he couldn't do it living in California because it costs damn much to live. Isn't that awesome? This guy is a liberal bleeding heart, and in liberal California, he can't do his liberal bleeding heart thing because they've made it so hard for him to raise money. The costs of doing business as a charity even are so high there because of the taxes and property costs and all of this stuff. Everything is so astronomical there because the left has completely jacked up their economy that even this guy is a true blue bleeding heart kind of guy. He can't do his job there. He has to do it from the other side of the country where Republicans run everything because it's the only way he can survive and do his charity work.
I can't imagine living in Republican state or Republican, very, very strong Republican states, but nor can I imagine living in California. I mean, both seem just so awful to me.
You lived in Jersey. You lived in New Jersey. You lived across the border from the California of the East Coast.
Yeah, and it was awful.
You know, you're like, I couldn't. You're like, but you couldn't fathom it. Yes, you could.
No,
you lived across the border from
it was awful. I mean, listen, I experienced New Jersey. I know what it's like. I've also experienced California. I have an idea what it's like.
All right, I want to read the last sentence before we go. I want to read the last half of the statement that was put out by Ripple. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to read the whole thing. These learnings are perhaps more relevant now than ever. Like the internet boom of the 1990s, we're at an impasse. Digital assets and blockchain technologies offer a way for value to be exchanged as quickly as information, creating more financial inclusion and economic opportunity. However, with this new technology comes potential for concern, requiring thoughtful policy, here law, to protect consumers, here regulations, from risk without hampering innovation.
Here impossible.
Yeah, exactly. You know, because that's the way it always works. So there you go, Ripple fans. That's what you've been pumping your money to assist with. The destruction of the very cryptocurrency community that you yourself are a part of. Good job, dummies. We'll be back with the third hour of the Call to Freedom right after this.
If you're looking for work, the person you are applying to is probably so swamped with applicants that he or she is tough to reach. So call early in the day, before 8 a.m., before the palace guards arrive. You'll need your prospect's direct number, and here's a sneaky way to get it. Suppose the company's main number is 555-5000. You should call 555-5012. When someone says, "Good morning, Pam Johnson," you should innocently say, "Oops, somebody here must have written this down wrong. I was calling for Tom Frederick. What's his direct number?" If the very next thing you hear isn't Pam giving you Tom's number, it may be, "Good morning, Tom Frederick." For more tips for job seekers and getting better results in all your day-to-day communication, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, July 31st, 2018. Silver is trading at $15.49 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,220 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $27, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,877. Antiwar.com reports addressing media questions on Monday. President Donald Trump announced that he is willing to meet with Iranian President Hassan Rouhani if the Iranians are willing to do so. He said they could meet anytime with no preconditions. The comments come after a week of conflicting statements on Iran, many from Trump himself. This time last week, Trump was threatening Iran with consequences the likes of which few throughout history have ever suffered, but then said he was willing to make a deal just days later. This was followed by reports as recently as Sunday that that the U.S. is preparing to attack Iran. Trump said he views this meeting as generally positive, saying one with Rouhani would be good for the country, good for them, good for us, and good for the world. Iran has not, as of Monday evening, responded to Trump's comments. Iranian state media, however, had reported earlier in the month that Rouhani's chief of staff told them that Trump had asked for meetings with Rouhani 8 times in the past month and was rebuffed. Iranian officials had said they were not interested in one-sided talks under the shadow of a threat, which isn't to say Iran would not accept talks under any circumstances, but that Iran is clearly not interested in following the North Korea model of protracted U.S. threats and ever-increasing sanctions, even when the negotiations are ongoing. Iran expert Trita Parsi expressed doubts that Trump would be able to get a better deal out of Iran, calling many of Trump's demands non-starters. He added that the better deal would need more American concessions to be reached. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 13,000 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed secure node systems of any cryptocurrency, and Zencash now has supernodes. Supernodes will bring network, economic, and technical improvements across the network. And the official Zencash wallet is available on Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zencash.com, zencash.com. UPI reports the next time you walk through an airport to catch a flight, the Transportation Security Administration might have an extra eye on you, even if you don't have a criminal record or aren't on any watch list. The agency has acknowledged the existence of its Quiet Skies surveillance program, an added airport security measure designed to watch for potential signs of danger, first reported by the Boston Globe. Michael Bolello, Assistant Administrator for TSA Public Affairs, told UPI the program uses an algorithm to observe travelers, including U.S. citizens, to identify a pattern of travel and passengers whose destinations and activities match intelligence on terrorist threats. This data is collected, reviewed by TSA personnel, and combined with state, local, federal law enforcement information to determine whether the traveler may be a threat to flight crew or passengers. TSA personnel then refer any potential threatening information to federal air marshals. Under the program, the marshals observe passenger activity in airport terminals, including who they talk to and their visits to airport restrooms. They also watch for signs of potential trouble, excessive fidgeting, sweating, use of computers, and whether a passenger waits to board the plane last. Bolello noted TSA agents are trained to look for passengers who may be acting erratically at TSA checkpoints, but that observation ends upon exiting the checkpoint. He said if the person were in the program, the air marshal would then begin observing them on the sterile side of the airport because they are trying to anticipate their next move. They're trying to determine if the person is a threat to aviation security. Bolello said only a very small population of travelers are placed in the program, and it's not intended to watch ordinary Americans. He added the program does not select passengers for observation based on race or religion. Although they are targets of extra scrutiny, the tracked passengers are not suspected of any crimes. Passengers who continue to fly without any adverse incidents for a period of time can be removed from the Quiet Skies program. Quiet Skies has been in use since 2010, and both Congress and the airlines have been aware of the program. Officials said the surveillance program is in use at most of the busiest airports in the United States, including Seattle, Minneapolis, Detroit, Boston, New York City, Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Las Vegas, Charlotte, Phoenix, Myrtle Beach, Atlanta, Houston, Miami, Philadelphia, and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
You can support FPP Radio by joining the FANS program. FANS are friends, allies, and Numery supporters. FANS help FPP afford to produce more original content. To learn more or to join the FANS program, visit fans.fppradio.com.
This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
The Total Loser's corpse contained no traces of drugs or alcohol, and a superstitious Delta Airlines adds busty mermaids to its plane noses. My friend, you look like you are in need of the world's finest internet news summaries. Please come in and warm yourself by the fire of knowledge. This is the Onion Week in Review. A new law passed in Colorado this week will allow residents with a doctor's prescription to purchase medicinal fireworks, saying that those in need of stargazers, firecrackers, and Galleria highlights now need only obtain a doctor's prescription, state officials expressed hope that the law would ease the suffering of those in need of huge, dazzling explosions. And in this week's op-ed pages, a man notes that, like it or not, we all die, then get dug up and molested. In other news, white male privilege is squandered on a job at Best Buy, and a local TCBY has missed the past 2 logo changes. Well, that's it for now. Goodbyes are bittersweet, my love, so I'll only tell you, for more, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Broadcasted live from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it's another beautiful day in the Shire. You can tell that's why we were not in here. Normally we would just hang out inside the studio, but it's a really, really nice day outside. So we were hanging out and chit-chatting about, I don't even remember now, something.
It's unfortunate that Chris Cantwell left.
Yeah, right?
No, I mean, it really is. I would like the opportunity to speak with him at some point.
Oh, you'll have the opportunity. I don't think he's leaving right away, is he?
He's gone. I mean, he's left for he showed up here and came and sat up on the porch at the studio.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he's going to be as far as he's got a house in Keene.
Yeah,
so
he lives here.
I imagine
he owns a house here.
he's got to get rid of that house before he can leave.
Yeah,
Keene,
so
New Hampshire.
he's here.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be around. It's not like Keene's a huge place. It's a small town. You'll bump into him probably.
More than once.
Yeah, I've already bumped into him twice now, and he's only been here back like a week.
I've bumped into him 3 times today.
See, but you're both not cripplingly antisocial, so there's also that.
Yeah, I just ignore him.
I mean,
you know,
look,
like,
I didn't have a chance to talk to
Chris,
him or
whatever,
anything
you know?
really, except for the one of the 2 times I bumped into him, and it was only for like a minute, and I didn't really even talk to him anyway. So
I ignore people that I have the inclination may have the desire to create conflict.
Yeah,
personally.
I don't know, but you know, Cantwell is interesting because he's not the same around us as he is around other people. You know, like he's got this persona, right? So,
well, I don't know how true that is.
You don't think he has a persona?
I think he's got a lot of character, but
okay.
Whether having a persona that he puts on, I mean, it's kind of reinforces what his claim earlier was, which is that he's playing a character.
Yeah. Okay. Character persona.
I don't buy that.
Okay. Well,
not even remotely.
It doesn't even matter whether or not you buy it. I mean, the reality is he behaves himself when he's around us.
Well, because most of us are
for the
armed.
most part.
Yeah. You got a point.
I don't know. I don't know
the
about
implication is that we're more than likely armed. One or the other. Either we are or it's a crapshoot on Monday or Tuesday.
I do agree that, if he ran into me on Facebook.
Though. I mean, he knows what he's doing.
Well, that's what Ari is saying, is that he's not dumb. He's not an idiot. He knows this is a libertarian circle that he's in, and if you're in a libertarian circle, then 99 times out of 100 you're bumping into someone who either if they aren't armed then they might be tomorrow.
You guys are making him out as if he's like this hugely dangerous person that's just going to shoot you.
No, I didn't.
Like
no,
he has been
You're acting like the only reason that he's not going and slaughtering people around us is because we have arms.
Who said that?
Look,
that's
if
like,
he
this
ran
is like you guys are projecting. You guys sound like socialists right now.
Because if he ran into
you
me,
just rolled out an argumentum absurdum. You just you totally went from like he doesn't act like a jackass because somebody might point a pistol at him to he doesn't slaughter the masses because no one said anything about him slaughtering the masses. Armed society is a polite society.
I agree,
not
but
a society.
Cantwell is not the one that you have to worry about.
That quote says nothing about killing people. It says people are more.
No, he was
polite.
arrested in North Carolina because
Virginia.
because he disagreed with the people and people in North Carolina. It was entirely a political thing.
No, he got aggressive. And he's on the record.
I'm sorry,
he's on the
but
record
I'm just
here.
not buying the story.
Well, you'll have to let me finish. He's here. He's been in trouble with the police for being aggressive with people here in Keene on several occasions. It's cataloged at freekeene.com. But beyond that,
I mean, I'm aware of at least some of those, but I'm not sure that he's ever been violent.
Hold the hell on. If he ran into me on Facebook or outside of Keene or something like that where I was alone, yes, he would be a jerk, without a doubt.
Okay.
He'll say, "Get away from me, you tranny freak." But here on Ian's porch, those words will never come out of his mouth because he'll either be asked to leave or he'll get beat the hell down right then. And he's not an idiot. You're correct. But he is the type of person, or at least when he's not in that environment.
When I met Chris, I thought he was Andrew Dice Clay. That's what I told my wife. She was like, he's such an asshole. And I was like, he's Andrew Dice Clay, though. It's a cartoon character. He's like Andy Dick, not Andy Dick, Andy, Man on the Moon. Help me out here.
I don't have any idea who you're referring to.
He used to be on Taxi. Come on. Jim Carrey played him in a movie. Anyway, he's a comedian from the 70s, and he played these different characters where, like, he got himself beat up by a real wrestler in real life and punched in the face on the David Letterman show for laughs, for a bit. He was worse than Sacha Baron Cohen. And that's when I saw Chris, when I met Chris the first time, that's what I saw. I was like, oh, well, this is like, he's like a libertarian Sacha Baron Cohen. This is all like the pedophilia jokes and all of this kind of stuff, you know, like he told a joke on Facebook, something about like when you accidentally send your wife the dirty message instead of your 6-year-old like you meant to, or something like that, you know? And everyone was like, oh, that's terrible. I can't believe you can do it. And I was like, that's the point, you know? Like, he's a shock. He's shocking purposefully because the point that's being made is if a person is as vile and ridiculous as I am, deserves to have free speech, then so does everybody else. Everyone deserves free speech, including someone as stupid and vile as me.
See, I don't think he's playing 4D chess, though.
Yeah, I don't know if he's doing that, but I certainly would agree with.
I think what happened is
he has every right to speak, even if I don't agree with him.
The same thing that happened with Andy Kaufman, the same thing that happened with Andrew Dice Clay. The character became the man. I think is what I see happen. Chris went from being the Chris that we knew 6-7 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Cantwell, guys, Cantwell. Just keep saying that last name.
Cantwell.
I'm not the racist.
Right.
You know, here.
To becoming the cartoon character that he created. And it happens sometimes with these character actor type comedians. They create these characters that are meant to like make a statement, like Andrew Dice Clay's character, and they end up becoming that character in real life. There's eventually they do the act so long that the act and the man become you can't differentiate them from
I don't
each
know.
other.
To me, it just looks like he rode that train from libertarianism to the alt-right, as so many people have done.
So you think it wasn't an act, it was a profit thing. He saw that the more ridiculous he became, the more money he made.
Well, I don't know if it was even about profit. I think for him it may have been about ideology and being subsumed by whatever it is.
Well, I mean,
what's the motivator?
Chris Cantwell, though,
but what's
from what I understand, never actually fit in that terribly well within the libertarian circle.
Well, I mean, who does?
I do pretty well, actually.
Right.
But
well, yeah, I do too.
Yeah, they hate me, but they love me.
Yeah. I mean,
they hate that they love me sometimes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's infighting, but I think it's kind of like not real libertarians fighting with libertarians. So
I mean, he's Hupp without the books, as far as I'm aware.
I think he's written a book, hasn't he?
Has he?
I think he has.
Well, who hasn't?
Me.
You could, though. I mean, it's not hard.
Actually, I'm surprised you haven't.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people have said that, and
We talked about that at one point.
We never ever did it. Tom was supposed to work with me on it because I'm just not a writer. I'm a talker.
Yeah,
that's why I do a talk radio show. I just don't. I hate writing. I hate it with a big old purple passion. I can't stand it. I don't like paperwork.
I love it.
I hate to write. So yeah. Anyway, we'll be back with more on this and identity politics and a whole lot more when we get back.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Catch the Call to Freedom at its new time, weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m. The Call to Freedom is the only live drive-home call-in show in the U.S. with a segment devoted to cryptocurrencies. Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com, live from Vertcoin Studios in New Hampshire. Learn about what makes cryptocurrencies so great and why you should care about them. Updates on new coins and ICOs, and warnings of scams. Plus, hear from traders, whales, developers, and big names in the crypto world. You can also win crypto coins or tokens every episode. Just listen for the faucet sound and be the 5th caller to get free Dash, Litecoin, Vertcoin, Verge, or other cryptocurrencies. The Call to Freedom with Will and Aria, featuring Crypto Hour. Broadcast internationally through our BitPlus network satellite. Weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m. on LRN FM.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Zencastr studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it's another beautiful day here in the Shire. We've been talking today mostly about identity politics, even off the air. We were just having a conversation about how odd it is that in hard right circles, like alt-right and hard right Republican, pro-Trump style circles, I no longer have a white identity. I am a Muslim.
I have to say, you're pretty black to me.
Yeah, right. I am super ultra, like I burn easy, super white. But to the left, where I, stereotypically one would think I would be able to go for, what's the word, protection or comfort from that. On the left, I'm only white. I literally have no Muslim identity.
What's interesting to me is that when you tell the right that you're Muslim, you say, I identify as a Muslim, effectively. And they respect that. Well, they don't. They respect that you identify as that. They don't. You're not really a Muslim. You're white.
Well, they don't consider.
Oh, do they?
Some of them do.
You know what's funny about this
is it's because of the fact that, like, I speak about Islam as an academic, not as a guy who's following what some backwater imam in Pakistan and their village and their little, I studied with big name scholars from all over the globe. And because of that and having that opportunity to do that kind of study, I've learned more than you. I'm, my brother, my friend who has only heard from this backwater imam back in your home village, and they get it really, really, the left get really, really offended by that. Like I
was referring to the right.
And the right does too. The right will tell me that the angry Pakistani who's burning down the UN building is a real Muslim. And then when I show them academically why the religion itself rejects that, and not only does the religion reject that, but the crazies in the religion want to kill other imams and other scholars who have also pointed out this academic argument that this is not the appropriate way to react to, the video, the supposedly caused Benghazi, the Muhammad video, right? The Prophet ﷺ was insulted to his face and had death wished. He was literally stoned. And his reaction was to pray for people and to criticize members of his following who reacted with not just with violence, but with shouting. Like they yelled at the person because they said they wished death upon the Prophet. And the Prophet ﷺ's response was to tell the person who yelled at that person who wished him death, that's not the right way to respond to that.
You know what I find funny is that the left is like they're supportive of trans people, but then they kind of ignore, white Muslims, so to speak. It's like, wait a minute, you're not at all consistent.
But the right will tell me, oh, well, no, that's not real Islam because that's not what I see on television in Pakistan. It's like, well, good for you and TV in Pakistan, but here are the books that the religion is taught from.
Oh, yeah, but see, they think those are the kinds of people who are like, well, I've got 5 Qurans and I've read it 37 times.
I had one guy tell me that Islam doesn't come from books. And I just...
What?
What else would it come from?
It was hard for me not to laugh He's like, Islam doesn't come from books. And I was like, on what planet does Islam not come from books? Do Muslims know this? Did you tell Al-Ghazali? Because he wrote a lot of them. And so did all the Muslim scholars throughout history. So, I mean, if Islam doesn't come from books, somebody should have told those guys. Because when we make arguments among ourselves, we cite them. Lots of them.
Isn't that true of like other religions like Christianity and like the different sects and whatnot?
Well, I think Christianity has mostly stopped arguing between its denominations.
It's because
there's
the Christians
a very
have
good
kind
amount of hegemony.
lost their faith.
Well, there's a good amount of hegemony between Christian denominations, but
It seems like a lot of people who say they're religious, and maybe it's just the people I'm around.
People who tell you they're religious usually aren't.
Yeah, well, that's just it, and I think that's kind of interesting.
If you need to remind someone that you're religious, you usually aren't. You know, like I go out of my way to do work because that's what Muslims should do. I shouldn't need to tell, like the lady. I shouldn't need to tell you that I'm Muslim. I shouldn't need to say I'm a Muslim. You should be able to know by my character that that's who I am. And, if you see me walking with my wife, But
you would think that would be a pretty good indicator.
Every religious book that I've read about from the great renowned teachers of my religion have said they all say over and over and over again that, Islam isn't told, it's lived. The greatest Muslims in the history of our faith, they converted entire countries, but they didn't lead armies.
That's exactly the
they
same
did it
argument
through their
I
character.
make about being trans, that it's not something you say.
Yeah.
It's something you live. You can't just go, well, I identify as a female. I mean, it doesn't, or I identify as a Muslim. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it is.
It's so much more than just saying I am X or I am Y.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. That's something that I teach in my sermons every week, is that there is a character that goes along with being Muslim. And that, the meme I just shared a second ago, people care more about your example than they do about your opinion. You don't teach people with your opinions. You teach them with your example. Dirty hands, right? That's what I said the whole time I was running for office, when I was running for the nomination. Dirty hands, man. Dirty hands. People don't respect titles. They don't respect letters. They don't respect any of that stuff. They respect people that do things. People that, I'm sorry, like talkers just don't get the respect, I don't think, that doers get. But in our society now, we've flipped that on its head. Now it's the talkers that get all the renown, and the people who do things and actually provide something, they're the ones who slip through the cracks and get ignored by our society today. Like the Abdul Sattar Edhis. Raise your hand if you know who Abdul Sattar Edhi is. That's a problem. That's a problem. It's a man who built a philanthropic medical empire. All of the medical services in an entire country provided for free, all through no government assistance whatsoever. Why do libertarians not know this man's name? Because we care more about talkers than we do about doers.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right. Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencast studio here in Keene, New Hampshire, and joined in studio today by Mr. Chris Wade of ThinkPenguin.com and the Queen of Crypto herself, Miss Aria DiMezzo of CryptocurrencyCheck.org. We've been discussing identity politics and how it relates to, well, basically it exists in all political spheres now. Even among libertarians, you have identity politics. You have Shipley and Kinnell and their socialist caucus.
Well, you also have it on the other side.
Left-wing identity politics. And then you have members of the Mises caucus and other groups pushing right-wing white identity politics. So you see it on both sides. In the Republican Party, it's nationalist white identity politics, and in the left, it's somewhat nationalist, everything else identity politics. And then you have subgroups within groups of subgroups of groups. And at the end of the day, feminists and trans gendered people end up at war with each other on the same political agenda.
Well, I mean, that's how it's always going to be when you have this sort of cultivation of the victim complex, as we do here in the West, where everybody wants to be the biggest victim. Everybody wants to play the best victim card and say, look how badly things have been for me. And for such a long period of time, you know, the racism card trumped everything else. But it's no longer really the case that, you know, being able to say, well, I'm black, so my minority automatically has it worse. I win the victim race.
Do you think our generation was kind of the beginning, or maybe our parents' generation was the beginning of what I call the Me Too generation, where like everyone who has a sad story, everybody in the group has to go, oh, me too. And this is my version of that sad story. And is mine worse? Oh, it's not? Okay. Well, what about his version? Is his version worse? Oh, okay. So that, like, I think it started with my mom's generation. Like, people talk.
I know I've gotten it a lot.
People talk about personal things now that our grandparents' generation never would have spoke about in public.
Well, I think that's why so many of them are, you know, World War II vets still dealing with PTSD. So I don't.
No, they're not. They're all dead.
Well, before they died. So I don't think it's a good thing that they, you know, just automatically held things in or wouldn't talk about these subjects. I think it's probably for the better that we get them out. I just don't like the whole competitive aspect of it where...
Well, not only it's competitive,
I will see your domestic abuse and your drug addict parents, and I will raise you...
A rape.
Yeah, a child rape.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what we have today.
Oh, wow.
It's not Me Too. It's like, yeah,
you
that
see,
sucks,
Chris, yeah,
but...
you've noticed it too, right? Like even in a bar... You know, you'll be talking and...
No, you know, I was just thinking about the other night on Free Talk Live. I don't know if I was on or if that was... No, I don't think I was on. I was listening to the show the other night. And, Ian's refusal to, like, basically, like, say, I was raped. And, like, how much that just pisses people off.
Does that issue ever die?
It doesn't die because he's not afraid to talk about it, and
he won't virtue signal on command. I mean, which is what someone wanted us to do yesterday. They're on Twitch. He was like, "Say this right now." I'm like, dude, I am not a dog, and I will not virtue signal just because you said to.
For real. Say this.
Yep.
Eat me.
But I mean, that's such a bizarre.
I'm a libertarian. Don't tell me what to do. How about that?
Right.
Yep. Did you forget where you are?
I cannot believe he
Did you
call
just
today.
tell me what to do? And you expected me to do it? You do understand, like, the core of the philosophy, right? Like, is don't tell me what to do.
Yes, definitely. Oh.
John Lamb Lash. Well, you know what? We will try to get in touch with him, especially if you can give us some contact information for him.
Socialist?
JB4X. No, person on Gnosticism. I love Gnosticism.
Okay.
I love studying Gnosticism. There's actually a book called
like the Gnostic sect of Judaism and Christianity, or Gnosticism as we use it in descriptions of agnostic
Gnosticism
atheism.
As far as Christianity and Judaism.
Okay.
It's all I've ever studied.
Cool.
I want to get, there's a guy.
Like Book of Enoch type stuff?
Yeah. There's a guy who wrote a book called the Essene Jesus. Jesus the Essene or something like that. And I want to get that guy on the show. And I can't seem to get in touch with him. I'm hoping he just shows up and it turns out he's some other guy. Like the last guy that we were able to get. You missed that, Chris. We were looking for guests, and I wanted to find this guy who did a book on African Sufism, and I couldn't find him anywhere. And it was 3 different authors, and I just couldn't find anybody. And I had lunch with this guy named Zach that I knew as Zachary Wright, and it turned out that he was Zachariah, and not Zachary, Zachariah. And that he was one of the co-authors of the book that we were trying to get people on to talk about. Mm-hmm. And I discovered this while we were having lunch together. And I was like, so you have to come to the studio now. So
was that a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I was aware he was here and having lunch with you.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah. Interesting.
So anyway, we've been all over the board on this discussion of identity politics. And Cantwell even got brought into it, and I think he's a perfect example of why identity politics is BS, and the left's hegemonic viewpoint of straight white males can't be supported at all, and it's because Cantwell exists, and because I exist, and if the two of us exist.
But see, they don't see you that way. They see you as just as bad. They see you as either a Nazi sympathizer or a Nazi.
True.
Wait, how does that work?
I don't know, but they do.
I was told that because of the fact that I was willing to debate Augustus Invictus, that made me a Nazi sympathizer. Even though, I met the organizers of the event a year before the event was held. And I was asked to give the keynote speech before they ever even started organizing it. When it was still an idea that they came up with at the Libertarian Party National Convention in 2016, they came to me and said, "We want you to keynote." And I was like, awesome. And then 3 weeks before the event, a year later, it was announced that Augustus would have one of the little rooms. He wouldn't be on the main stage, but he'd have one of the little rooms. And people made such a stink about it. And I didn't want to be on stage with him, but I didn't want to boycott because I didn't want to sack the event, because it still could be a good event. One idiot. I was like, look, I'll debate him. Now, that brings him from a side room to the main stage. And they were like, well, then you're a Nazi sympathizer because you're willing to confront him and say that he doesn't belong here. And I'm like, how does saying you don't belong here give the implication of sympathy? Well, because you're giving him a platform. I'm not giving him anything. I'm a speaker at an event. The organizer gave him a platform. Well, you're not boycotting. Who cares?
It's
I'm a speaker at the event.
This is why
this
is how it comes to be that we end up with Nazis, is because we don't give everybody the opportunity to speak. Then all of a sudden, people like that can actually silence
Western culture
others.
loves an underdog.
Yeah.
Western culture loves an underdog. They're a sucker for the one who it looks like is being silenced. And I'm sorry, but at this point, the left does not look like they're being silenced.
No,
I'm
definitely
sorry. It just doesn't look that way. No matter how much you holler that you're the victim, it doesn't look that way. Sorry to tell you, sweetheart.
No, the left is the victimizer.
I'm going to say both are the victimizer.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे.
Let's focus our discussion first on marijuana, okay? Marijuana has a very distinct smell, okay? I'm going to pass around just a little tiny bit, and I want you all to take a smell so you know when someone is smoking marijuana near you.
All right, welcome back into the final segment of our Tuesday afternoon drive home broadcast of the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. And it's time for the only source for libertarian cannabis news, our cannabis segment here on the Call to Freedom. And according to a recent Harris poll, a supermajority of Americans want legalization. Not just a majority now, a super
So does this
majority.
mean we can get an amendment to our Constitution to guarantee?
Well, an online poll commissioned by Health Day and Harris Polling found that 85% of American adults say that cannabis should be legalized for medical use, while 57% are in favor of legalizing for recreational purposes.
I would say 85% is definitely
Pretty
a super
damn
majority.
Yeah. Voters believe
It's a shame they're stopping at pot.
Voters believe that ending America's failed marijuana prohibition laws is a common sense issue, not a partisan one. Normal Deputy Director Paul Armentano told Health Day, it's time for their elected officials to take a similar posture and to move expeditiously to amend federal law in a manner that comports with public and scientific consensus, as well as with marijuana's rapidly changing cultural and legal status. Despite the demand for reforming marijuana laws, 4 out of 5 are in favor of regulations that include prescriptions for medical professionals and FDA approval for medical cannabis products. The desire for legalizing medical use seems to come from concerns over opioid abuse, as 53% believe that fewer people would die from overdoses if marijuana was legally available. Marijuana is seen as a way to ease the opioid.
We covered it a few days ago. The legalization of pot does lower the opiate overdose rate.
In every state that it happens in.
Okay, but not
Oh.
just pot. We're talking about because people are using that instead of something else.
No, we're talking about just pot.
They're using the marijuana instead of opioids. Because
Okay, because I was gonna say, who's ever overdosed on marijuana?
Exactly. Well, that's what they're saying is that when they legalize,
That's why I'm a little confused. Like they're saying that legalizing it.
No, they're saying
nobody
that
overdoses now anyway because
You
it
have-
just isn't an issue.
You have two different things going on. Cannabis can, in some cases, with some kinds of pain, completely replace opioid use. So if you have nerve pain,
Gotcha.
like what I have, then you don't take opioids for that because all the opioids do is make you stupid and you don't care that you hurt, but you still hurt. And then you have other people who have the kind of pain that opioid medicines really will work on, but the opioids they've been taking them so long for like fibromyalgia. They've been taking them so long that the opioids don't help anymore. So they're eating 6 and 7, 15 pills that they're cracking them in half. I've seen it. I've seen opioid addicts that do this with my own eyes. And cannabis cuts their opioid consumption in half, sometimes more, because cannabinoids, they open the receptors and they make the opiates more effective. So taking one opioid pill and smoking a joint or eating an edible is like taking 10 of the pills for pain relieving effect. So you don't need to take 10 pills and have an overdose. You can just take the one and smoke a joint and get the same effect.
They would also drastically reduce overdose rates if they would stop putting Tylenol in it.
Yep.
Because, I mean, that's what's killing people.
A lot of times.
There's a lot of Tylenol
Or
and
aspirin.
Lortabs and
in what exactly?
Ibuprofen.
Hydrocodone, oxycodone, all of them.
They either have ibuprofen or they have acetaminophen. A lot.
It'll kill your liver so quick. And the addicts don't think about it. They'll take 20, 10 milligram Lortabs a day, and that's like
It just
4,000.
burns their liver up. Yeah.
It's like 4 grams of Tylenol.
Gotcha.
But
And
they
it-
don't. I mean, they can do cold water extractions, and there are some people who do, but most people just they're
crack
just
the
gonna
pills
eat
in
'em.
half and eat them. Yeah. And then you end up with. I've had to deal with opiate overdoses personally. Like I had a friend, she had fibromyalgia, and she had a problem on top of it. And she went from the pills, and then her doctor cut her off because I guess he was worried about being labeled a pill farm, and she ended up on heroin. And then she ended up on what is the
Well, it's much easier to overdose on heroin than it is Lortabs.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is going to happen when you start cutting pills off?
yeah. And then she got on methadone, and then she got back on heroin again, and then she finally got off of the methadone and the heroin and got back onto the other opiate, the pills. And then she had this brilliant idea that she would get herself off of pills with crystal meth. Right. And it was just, and she overdosed one night.
Yikes.
And I had to keep her alive. And it is a very unsettling experience. I worked in clubs though. Like I've dealt with ODing kids who think it's a brilliant idea to not eat anything all day and then come like inundate their body with drugs. It's like, I'll do 3 beans and 2 hits of acid and half a vial of ketamine on an empty stomach and I'll wash it all down with some beer and it will feel great. I'm like, yeah.
For about 2 hours.
Until you die on my dance floor in my parking lot, and 9 times out of 10, those kids, if you're at the clubs and you see somebody having a drug overdose, 9 times out of 10, if you walk up and you fill their mouth with Smarties and make them wash it down with a can of pineapple juice, in 10 minutes they're perfectly fine. It's a blood sugar crash. Their body is going into shock from lack of it's just there's nothing to keep them going, and the drugs are like, no, you need to keep going, and it will kill you. And for some reason, I don't know why, kids, if your friend is overdosing in the parking lot, the DJ is not the person you go to. I understand security might call the cops. Not every time are you going to be lucky enough to work with somebody who used to work in underground clubs and is used to dealing with this kind of stupidity. I just was, because I worked in underground establishments before I worked in regular bars. Go to security. Don't go to the DJ. But they would. They would be like, oh, I need your help. My friend's OD'ing in the parking lot.
What the hell?
Go to security, yo. What the hell are you coming to me for?
The DJ is the last person I would think to go to.
Because the DJ's cool.
Yeah,
so
but
he won't call the cops on you. And I would tell him straight up, don't, A, take your friend and get them a cheeseburger. B, I don't want to see you here ever again, like for the rest of the night. You guys, your night is over. Thank your friend that you all have to leave now. And C, if you ever bring me out into this parking lot again, I will call the cops myself. You know, and it invariably at least once every other weekend on a Friday or Saturday. Yeah, it's Florida, it's Orlando, man. You know, tourist trap, young kids come down. I'm going to go to Disney World, buy too many drugs, don't know what they're doing. They're like 19, 20, 21, and they almost kill themselves. The only reason I didn't do it was because I worked there. So I saw them do it and was like, wow, I should be careful. Or I probably would have been one of those kids because I was headed down that trajectory till somebody pulled me into the music industry and was like, bro, you should do this. Like, don't be a puddle on the floor in an overdose case. You should come play the music. You know, that saved my life, I think, and to be truthful. It literally saved my life. Anyway, we were talking about, the opioid crisis, though. So, the marijuana makes the opioid stronger without you actually having to take more, which kills you.
And that's good.
And that's a great thing. And they're using that as like the doorway to get legalization. The problem is that people are worried about pets and kids.
Oh my God! If my cats ate weed, they would be okay.
They'll
sleep
poll
for a couple of hours.
Included more than 2,000 adults. It was conducted in mid-July at a time when Oklahoma lawmakers were working to create a legal medical marijuana system.
That's what people are worried about, is their kids on getting high or their cats getting high?
Michigan and Oklahoma will also vote on adult use legalization in November. As for those opposed to legal medical programs, 57% of opponents cite worries that marijuana will be more easily accessible to children and pets. Opposition to marijuana, whether for medical or recreational use, comes down to fear. Fear of it getting into the hands of people they don't want. They want to clean out the jails, but they don't want to get rid of the laws that are filling them up.
And they don't want to admit that, most American adults have the mental capacity, no matter how stoned they are, to put up their stash.
Well, because they're irresponsible adults, so why would anyone else be a responsible adult? All right, guys. So we'll be back tomorrow with more of the same thing we had tonight, I guess, but a little bit different. We'll also have totally different topic. We're also going to have a guest tomorrow discussing healthcare. So stick around for that, and Free Talk Live is coming up next.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Juicy Juice, 100% juice, providing a full serving of fruit in every 4 ounces. Visit us at juicyjuice.com. When it comes to nutrition, kids need both fruits and vegetables every day to stay healthy and grow. For the ideal mix, your kid should have at least 1.5 cups of any veggie or 100% veggie juice and 1 cup of any fruit or 100% fruit juice a day.